discussion wrapping up metacognition and the communication unit. Justin, what do you feel is the most significant and helpful information you learned in the metacognitive portion of this first unit?
I believe that the most useful information I have learned from this unit is that the brain acts like a muscle. With practice and time, you can improve at anything.
I agree with Justin's thoughts. I also learned that many ways to keep your brain healthy with stress relief and proper sleeping techniques. Audrey, what did you learn on this topic?
I learned that in the metacognition unit, that there is a link in teens between poor sleep and poor mental health, and that can affect your grades, how you act at school, all that.
I agree with Audrey because I think that that's like actually something that affects teens on a daily basis. If you overwork yourself or get too stressed, you can basically just shut down and when you sleep, your brain like clears off all those toxins and just like makes you like completely shut down for a bit, and then when you wake up, it's just like a brand new start. Most people when they're like upset will go to sleep. Well, not most, but some people when they're upset will go to sleep just so they can just like get a new start. And there's this textual evidence I have that said researchers have found a clear link between sleep deprivation and teenage depression and anxiety. I feel like when you get a lot of homework or you're stressed out during the day, you stay up very late and you don't do that much. Besides that, you can't really shut off your brain to sleep. So I feel like that really affects teens and stuff.
I agree with Sam's idea there because my biggest takeaway from this section was the idea that no matter what you're doing throughout the day, even if you're practically doing nothing, you're still doing something, and that is changing your brain so that what you're doing, even if it is nothing, is changing your brain to be more used to doing nothing, and it becomes better at doing nothing. So whatever you do throughout the day, if that's all you do, then your brain becomes better at it. So no matter what, your brain is always changing to become better at something, even if it's a good thing, a bad thing, or even if you think it's not important, your brain is adapting and learning to become better at the activity that you're doing.
What about you, Morgan? Do you have anything to add on to the discussion?
No, I agree with what everyone has been spoken.
Can you add on to that?
I do. Sadie, would you like to share your thoughts on this topic?
I agree with Audrey.
Why do you agree with Audrey, Sage?
Because poor sleep and poor mental health will not much towards as well.
Has everyone shared their thoughts on this topic?
What about you,
What do you
Riley?
think, Riley?
I also agree with Audrey because I feel like sleep can affect you in many different ways.
Alright, the next section. What learning and or reading strategies did you find most helpful? I found that you should connect your thoughts so that they stick in your brain and you are able to learn new information. I remember Ms. Hartwig talking a lot about this during this unit.
I believe that the most helpful strategy I have learned from this is that, like, the certain study habits that we can learn, like the studying before bed, because your brain will store those memories in long term right before you go to sleep.
I personally found that note taking and reading along when being read to helped me retain more information than if I was just reading it by myself or didn't take notes on a certain topic.
I feel like that's like a good start. For me personally, I thought like writing down information that you personally think is the most important. Because if you had a teacher that just said like write down the key terms and stuff, you wouldn't exactly write down what they thought was the key terms. You would write what you thought was the key term. It feels like when you do a subject like that, it's more like if you have a subject that's more geared to you, like say you're doing like a topic on sports, and if you do a like report on and you have to do a report and you do it on sports and you really like sports and you're gonna do better on that because you really like that sports. Like so I feel like if you write down the information you like from whatever it was, even if it is something you don't like, it'll just make you learn more.
I see what you mean.
I feel like personally, the idea and the activity where we did the posted paragraph summary, it helps me because I tend to do a lot of reading, but I just read over it and I don't retain the information. I end up reading through things many times before I really retain the information. So I feel like that really, it taught me to look over something and pay attention to the key parts and break down key parts into, how they affect each other. And then when you're summarizing it, you really have to, you have to identify what's most important. You have to learn it and then shorten it down through summary. So I feel like when we did that, that really helped me.
What do you think, Sage?
I agree with Kirsten. Connecting your thoughts will help you learn better.
Riley, would you like to share your thoughts?
I also agree with Kirsten because I feel like when you connect your thoughts with your learning, it helps you learn better.
I agree with Jake because I feel like when you break things down, it just helps your brain take the information in.
The next section. What do you feel is the most significant and helpful information you learned in the communication portion of the first unit?
I believe that the most significant information in the communication portion was that most communication is done non-verbally. I believe they said like 65% of it was done like facially or through your cues, not through what you're saying. Personally, I know that I use a range of facial expressions when I'm talking to people.
I agree with Justin because I found it interesting personally because I know some people don't communicate through body language, but I know you can kind of tell what someone's thinking by how they react or how they show it through their body or their expressions. It's not just all verbal when you communicate with someone.
I agree with Audrey and Justin sometimes because nonverbal communication is something like I always like that saying like actions speak louder than words because I remember it was like 7th grade, but I was like giving a presentation and I didn't even realize that I talk with my hands a lot. And I hate that I do that. I feel like it makes me more extra. It's just like a part of who you are. I feel like your personality is a good telling of how you speak, but your personality is also a good telling of like your nonverbal communication.
I agree with everyone's thoughts so far. I also learned that I should probably pay more attention to my facial expressions because I don't think about them a lot. They just happen.
I can agree with every idea said so far because I feel like personally, I like if I'm trying to get a point across or if I'm trying to talk to somebody and it's very important, I'd like to talk to them face to face. And when I talk with somebody, eye contact, like I'm doing right now, use your hands. I mean, just that. I feel like that helps me speak more fluently, get my point across. I feel like that's just an overall game changer for really controlling the discussion and making sure that that I'm trying to say that your speech is smoother, that it just works better with the other person.
I agree with what Kirsten said, but I don't think that you can really control them. I feel like it's more just an automatic reaction to whatever you're feeling.
I kind of disagree with Justin because like you can control your emotions, but it's like half and half because like you can control your emotions. Like some people will like just control it completely, but I feel like it's obviously like an automatic response. Like you see something funny, you're gonna laugh. You see something like stupid, you're gonna like shake your head because it's dumb, right? What about you?
Sage, what's your thoughts on this?
I agree with everyone because actions speak louder than words.
Have you had a personal experience where that is true? Where you feel like that you can support your idea with that?
I don't.
Safe right now. All right, that was fabulous. Okay, outside circle, what did the inside circle do well?
Lots of discussion, lots of back and forth between everyone.
Yeah, everyone got involved. Yeah, good. Yeah, you guys really did. I think this was probably the first discussion that I've had where you really did a super good job of agreeing with ideas versus agreeing or disagreeing with people. So yeah, that was great. What else? Could you all hear them?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay. Okay, so we need to make sure our volume stays up. Anything else that you want to add that they did really well?
Incorporating sage.
Yeah, incorporating others. That's so important. Remember, that's the key. If you're really good and comfortable at speaking, this is where you practice helping others, inviting others in who aren't comfortable there. Wherever we are in our skills, we grow. Yeah, very good. And we practice, and what we practice, we strengthen. All right. Outside circle, what are some things that you're going to keep in mind when we switch?
As long as pauses, like trying to get
Okay. Is silence a bad thing?
Because you're thinking when you're.
Yeah. Too often in our world, we think silence is a bad thing. We have to quickly fill it. But thinking about what you want to say is a really good, important skill and practice. Yeah. Anything else before we switch quickly? A little louder. Yep, I would agree. All right, quickly and quietly switch places. Inside circle, when you go to the outside, make sure you know which you're going to be tracking. Evidence, discussion, connectors, or
Why did you take what were you? Why did you take motion?
I think
I'm just gonna.
I was. It's all ready. It's all ready. I'm stick ready. Okay, wait. I'm gonna be the person.
Oh,
I didn't
Yeah.
feel like dentist, but I used to use
All right.
like into my teeth.
You feel.
okay.
Oh, I don't either.
Are we ready?
Yep.
You may begin.
okay. Let's start off. First question. What do you feel is the most significant and helpful information that you learned in the metacognition portion of our first unit? Who'd like to start us off?
The most important information I learned in this unit was how the brain can grow and how it acts like a muscle, like every other muscle in your body.
I agree with Ben because it's like a growth like thing. If you keep practicing, it will get stronger.
The thing with the rats, how we had the old rats and they were still learning. Also like that. The entire first packet that we got was just about how the brain is constantly growing, so solve the problem.
What about Dane? What do you think about it?
I agree.
Like what aspect of it?
Everything.
Is there anything you have to add on to it?
No. I agree with all of you guys so far, definitely. I would say also that the article about being smart or dumb, how like everyone can grow their intelligence no matter what, I thought that really hit home, I guess.
And the more often you do something, the easier it becomes, and it happens through repetition.
Absolutely. Elzada, you have anything to add?
Kara, do you have anything to add?
I agree with Taylor because the more sleep you get, it like cleans out your brain so you can learn more.
We didn't talk about sleep, but that's okay.
Just adding on.
You want to just, Michaela, what do you think about my first unit? You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
What learning and or reading strategies do you find most helpful? Thing?
I like discussion because I like to hear everybody's opinions and their ideas.
I agree with Dane. It deepens your understanding of whatever topic you're researching or reading about.
I agree with both of you. However, what I said was a score breathing strategy. It helped me not only fall asleep faster, but like calm down after an event or whatever. And falling asleep faster, I have trouble with sleep already, so that was really nice to like give my brain a refresher.
I agree with both of you, but I wrote down not having a fixed mindset and trying to grow to a growth mindset so that you don't just immediately give up when you can't do something and ask questions to better your understanding.
I also agree with that, but I also think that some reading strategies that I found useful were note taking and certain skills for my time management.
I agree with Taylor because the more you write something down, the more you remember.
What do you think, Esmeta?
I agree with what Ben and Dane said, but I don't really agree with what Trevor said just because the breathing stuff doesn't help with me. And I don't know, I don't really have note taking.
Okay, no, yeah, I want to go back to your breathing
Okay.
thing. I don't understand the breathing thing.
The score breathing is
No.
it's pretty much a technique where you in through your nose, hold for 3 seconds, hold for 3 seconds, and then out. But you like visualize a square as you do it.
I mean, I understand how that could help with stress, but I don't understand how that helps with like learning.
Well, like
As a reading strategy.
because it helps me fall asleep faster, so I'm not sleeping in class. So therefore, I can actually read.
Or so you can fall asleep in class.
Both, yes, very useful technique.
Esmeta, what do you do to help? Like, instead of note taking, what do you do instead?
I don't know.
Like, what helps you remember?
This is gonna sound stupid, but drawing all this really helps get in because then when I go back and look at the drawings, I'm like, oh yeah, we were talking about whatever we were talking about.
I mean, I do that too because then I'm not just because when I like listen in class, I have to be doing something else because otherwise I'm not gonna pay attention.
Yeah, if they're just like look at the board, I'm not gonna be looking at it. I'm not gonna be listening.
Kayla, what do you do to help yourself with this?
When it comes to like reading and stuff, like after like every chapter or so or every so many pages, I'll summarize what I read. So then I get the basic understanding of that chapter and don't have to remember the simple things that aren't important. And I just remember the big ideas so I can continue reading and understand.
Then we can move on to our next question. What do you feel is the most significant and helpful information you learned in the communication portion of our first unit? Michaela.
I learned that even when we're not thinking about it, nonverbal communication is the most telling because even if you're trying to hide something, usually your facial expressions gives you away.
What I put, I agree with you, but what I put the most significant information about communication is the different types of language you use for different types of people. As like you're speaking to a teacher, you're going to use consultative form of language. It's a formal language, but as you're talking to your friends, you're going to use a casual language.
I agree with both of your ideas. I have them both written down as well, so that's very fun. It's like even the non-verbal communication can be used with the language registers, because like I could be talking to my teacher and like doing gang symbols, and that's not gonna match with the language register that I want.
Yes, I agree with you. Because then, if you like cross the boundaries, then you aren't considered like awkward in those situations.
Do you have any evidence to add?
What have
Dane.
you thought?
I'm sorry.
What have you thought about like what communication do you use?
I don't know.
It's just
Kara, what do you think the most important part about the communication portion of the first unit was?
I agree with you, Ben, because it would be weird to be like talking to your friends in like a comfortable voice.
Dane, do you have anything to add?
I do not.
Do you have anything to add at all?
Certain.
Nothing about the communication
No.
portion.
I don't.
I agree with Michaela. about the nonverbal communication, because that's such an important part of our everyday lives, our communication as a whole.
Our next question is, what is something you've learned about yourself as a learner through this unit? Ellie, what have you learned?
God, no, don't. I don't know. I found the whole self-learning thing kind of interesting, just because I don't know. I just thought that was a normal thing. I didn't know that was something that like people thought needed to be taught. I thought you were just supposed to be able to do that.
Trevor, what do you think about it?
I had learned that I had a fixed mindset very early on, and I've been working on that all the way throughout the unit, trying to improve that into a growth mindset.
How you try to improve it?
More like, again, what Haley said earlier, about how you don't just like give up when something's hard. You actually try and work towards it. I recently started a band, and so starting up a new instruments really hard. So I've been just trying to progress specifically in that area, and growing every area as well.
Thank you for giving your personal
Being out of
Adding on to what Trevor said with the having a growth mindset, like when I was in analytic geometry, I hated it. I didn't understand a lot of it, but I didn't feel like I could ask questions because I didn't want to see.
Yesterday we kicked off FCCLA week by putting treats in the lounge for teachers and goodies in the students' lockers. Today is Guess the Number in the Jar Day. There are 2 jars in the office. Stop in and guess the number. We will announce the winners at the end of the day. Wednesday we will have a heart scavenger hunt. Match 2 heart halves for a prize. See Miss Lane for more details. They will be hidden throughout the school. Thursday is Wear Red Day. A prize will be given to the best dressed. Friday is the coloring contest. The winner will be announced, so don't forget to pick up your sheet in the office and don't forget to color. Happy FCCLA week, everyone.
Sorry about that. Continue.
Okay, to you, what you were saying.
I didn't feel like I could ask questions in class because I thought I was dumb for not understanding it because no one else would. And I think that just our entire class kind of had that mindset. So instead of asking Mr. Betterton, I just go to my brother and be like, please explain this to me. But I feel like if I had more of a growth mindset and I got Mr. B to actually explain it to me and how he would do it, I would be able to understand it better. So that's what I want to do. Yes.
Dan, what are your ideas on this?
I agree with Haley.
Thank you.
What something I learned about myself in this unit is I always knew I had a growth mindset. That I don't really give up on things if I really want to learn them. Just the fact that like going back to I think getting more sleep, because usually I'm not the biggest sleeper. But the more sleep I get, the more prepared I come to school the next day. Like in this class especially, I've been pretty positive lately, just because the amount of sleep I've been getting, and it makes me more prepared to learn.
Kara, what about you?
I think that I could change because I could do time management and then take notes too, so that I understand everything.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to stop you there. Outside circle, what did this inside circle do well? Fabulous. Okay, like what? What specifically? Yeah.
Except for me. That's true.
Everybody was involved, yeah.
That's true.
What else? Did you?
They ask questions.
Yeah, a lot of good questions.
Even if they weren't speaking, they asked questions to try to get them involved.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't answer very loud.
Okay, but everyone got involved. That is fabulous. Okay, great job. Before you leave, go back to your rubric. Highlight in green this time all of the skills that you say, yes, I did that. And you might be surprised at some that you weren't thinking you were going to do that you actually did. So that's a great thing. And then finish the last 3 questions or 2 questions. Now I can't remember what it is. I think it's 3. And then turn that in. Okay, great job today, guys.
So do you want us to the yellow ones? The ones that we had, like, we just leave them in.